1928. Okay, I've never been to 1928. How lucky I am, after all, that my seat in class is right by the window, and I'm even luckier with the view. It's pretty nice. Sometimes it is not interesting at all to listen to what's being said on the lessons, so you can just sit and stare out the window, and out there is beautiful to see, but not an ordinary sea, not the kind you imagine, not blue, crystal, or even black. A white sea. Ayo. Pause on that. White sea, huh? Wonder why that is. Can you imagine that? It is our northern sea. Well, if it's the white sea, I guess it's because the sky. Maybe the sky is white. The color of the sea are usually reflected from the sky. It is our northern sea. Even in the best summer weather, when there is not a single cloud in the sky, the water still is not even close to blue. That's weird. Maybe the water is contaminated. I wonder by what though. Why is that? I heard a legend once that there is, in the middle of the sea, at the bottom, another country with its own rules, its own inhabitants who are completely unlike us. Atlantis, besides the fact that it is underwater, there is one more difference between us. There, it always snows. Can you imagine that? Well, I can actually. Isn't in like what is it called? Very northern part of the earth. North Pole, right? Isn't there and the South Pole always snowing? Like, yes, I can imagine that very clearly right now. Of course, I can imagine that because, unlike you, I live up north. Okay, shut the fuck up. Then why are you asking me that? But just think about it. Snow every day without a break. It never melts. The children are always playing snowball fights, building snowmen. Would I like to visit there? Would you though? I don't think I would. It would be freezing as hell, and I'm not built for freezing shit. Even though I like cold place, but I don't like freezing shit. That's a good question. Sometimes I get so bored in class that I just want to give up on everything, say to hell with it, and jump into the sea, swim to the middle, and what are you gonna do? You gonna find that city. You're not gonna do anything, mate. You're gonna die. And call out to the inhabitants there to let them help me descend to the country forever covered in snow. Wonder what this game is about now. Let's go outside right now, don't need to wait. I can't wait no more. Let's go to the middle of the sea and maybe we'll find some country people from that country. But I don't know. Today is more depressing than usual. What happened? It's good that there are kids who are prepared. I'll just look out the window. Despite the early spring, it's still gloomy here. Summer isn't that far off, but if you look at the clouds, you wouldn't say so. The cloud doesn't change much, so I don't really know. I'm not a weatherman. I can't tell nothing from the fucking clouds or the sky. Like, what are you telling me to do? Look at the clouds, okay. The clouds are beautiful. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. It's strange that it's not raining. There are clouds, but no rain. Maybe the people from that country deployed some anti-rain tactic. I don't know. Maybe if I paid more attention in class, I would understand why this is happening. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right for the both of us. I think I should focus in class. Although, how would the teachers here, in such a small village, know that interesting things? What are you implying? Maybe they're from a good school previously before they came here to teach your dumb ass. And who knows? Then we gonna be in the next day. We gonna read this kid's diary until he goes to the middle of the ocean. The next day, it finally started raining. I was called to the board in arithmetic. Oh, math. Shit. I don't know any subjects well, but arithmetic, the worst. Okay? I'm not that bad at math. Sometimes maths are just like patterns, like puzzles to me. So if I know how to solve it, of course, what the fuck am I talking about? If everybody knows how to solve that shit, they wouldn't be fucking complaining about that shit. Okay, what am I talking about? Of course, I got the lowest grade. It's good that I have reasonable parents. Otherwise, not long ago, Ernie got the same grade. What happened to him? He didn't even go to school for a day. Shit. But when he came back the next day, his eye had swollen so badly. What? That you could barely see the apple of the eye. Why would his parents do that to him? Maybe it's not his parents. Maybe he lives. I think Ernie is a boy. I don't know. Ernie Ball, right? I think his name is Ernie. Okay. Maybe he lives with a guardian. That's even worse though. It's not your kid. Why would you punch them? You shouldn't do that. You could do anything else, but don't physically hurt him. I don't know, maybe if he can take it, but he definitely cannot take that shit. His eye is swollen now. Damn, today they called him too. And the rain keeps falling. Oh, the rain from yesterday? Is the rain never gonna stop? Maybe the water is white because of the rain? Something in the clouds. Could be, right? Maybe there's a particle. A dust? I don't know. But this is 1928. I don't think the carbon monoxide is that much. The next day, it was still raining. But Ernie didn't come. Oh, what happened to him? Maybe Ernie swam to the middle of the ocean. You could have guessed that, knowing who his parents are. Who? Are they like evil? There are 2 days off coming up. He was probably beaten badly. Since now he has time to recover. It's good that a few years ago they banned corporal punishment at school. Otherwise, the poor guy would be beaten both there and at home. What? Did they used to do that? Man, if school beat my ass, I would fucking... No. Shit, man. I would destroy the fucking school, man. What the fuck? Who are you? I paid you to teach me shit. And you beating my asshole? Nah, that's not right. Thank you, whoever abolished that shit. Thank you. There wouldn't be a spot left untouched. I wonder what I'll do over the weekend. Maybe... I don't know. I'm looking at the sea right now. Tomorrow morning, my father will definitely ask for my help. And I'll be working hard until evening. And on Sunday, maybe we'll go to the city. But who knows? Alright, mate. Come on, do something. Why are you talking? Oh, look at the sky. So beautiful. The trees are so green. Damn, where do you live in? On Monday, the sun came out. Unfortunately, not for too long. The sea remained as white as it used to be. Well, now that the sun is out and the sea is still this color, it is kind of bizarre. Doesn't even look like a sea. Looks like concrete. Like this is a skate park, you know? Probably down there, under the water. They don't rely much on the sun. You think? If you... okay. If you paid more attention in class, you would know that the sun doesn't reach as deep in the water. The snow kept falling, just the same as it was. I was wrong. Over the weekend, we went to the city for 2 days. In my free time, I took a walk and saw the local school. Are they better than your school? Although the building was 3 times bigger than ours, and there were so many kids that you could probably make a whole village out of them, I would have had a hard time surviving there. What's wrong? Hard school? They have windows, of course, but the school itself is far from the sea. There's nothing for me to look at there. Well, what if you graduate from your school right now and you go to a different school for your next grade? You know, you'll be fucking sad. Also, don't you have friends? You don't seem to be talking about your friends at all in these dialogue. Maybe there's a boy like me sitting there too, but all he sees from the window is a fence and a road. That shit suck ass. If I have a window to sit nearby, I would like to have the window looking at a vast distance away from something. I don't get the point of having window when there's like a 1 meter distance between another building and there's a window. Like, what would that be used for? Fuck that window, man. I would just install a door on that. Fuck that. I'm not gonna look at that window at all. Ever. I feel sorry for him. Me too. By the way, Ernie, oh, it's Ernie, still hasn't shown up. Did they beat him so badly that he still hasn't recovered? Who knows, maybe they killed him. Maybe he ran away. Or they moved. I'm a little worried about him, even though he's strong, a year older than me, and taller too. Give it a bit more time, and he'll be the one beating up his father. Wow, talking about that shit. I don't know, it's strange for me to read that. Unless his father is the one that's beating him. I don't know, man. To me, forgive your enemies. But I'ma forgive them after I gave them the shit they deserve. On a positive note, Sandria came to school and talks more than both our teachers and the whole class combined. Who the hell is Sandria? Is it like the president? What an interesting case. The girl knows absolutely everything, loves learning and school, but she's seriously ill and can't leave the house often, fuck. So she comes to school no more than twice a week. What? What? You can do that if you're smart enough? Okay. I guess it's our fault, bro, that we are not smart enough to do that. Also, she's sick. So maybe I'm not sick enough. And not smart enough too. Which is more sadder than the sick part. Fuck. How can anyone believe in God after this? Well, I can. Or in fate. I don't know about fate. Or in anything at all. Or maybe, just maybe, it's because of this that one can believe. Maybe that's true. I don't know what you're talking about right now. I haven't really thought about it. And we study religious texts closer to summer. So I'll wait. Yeah, keep on waiting. The sea is waiting for you too. For you to come and to be consumed. Can I get a different view? Like, bro, why am I here? I thought I was in the city. The next day was just also sunny, with occasional clouds. It's nice reading this dialogue, you know? It's like reading a diary. Which, that's not me saying that I like to read other people's diary. But if I can write a diary, I will just write shit like this. Sandria came to school again, 2 days in a row. I could just sit and do nothing, staring out the window. Oh, so the Sandria is so smart, so the teacher always asks her to do shit. Fuck that, man. Why would the teacher do that? You should be fair to all people. And Ernie has been gone for 5 days now. What the fuck? Ernie's gonna be showing up in the sea. I'm worried about that guy. What could have happened to him? I think one of the teachers, or even the principal himself, should go and visit his home soon. Why don't you visit him if you're that worried about him? If I'm worried about someone, I'm gonna visit them. And I don't know. I don't know what I do actually. I'm not that socially skilled for that shit. When I was absent from school for a long time, the principal came on the 5th day to ask if everything was okay. We'll see tomorrow. Principal ain't gonna go. Maybe the principal already know something from the parents, from Ernie himself. I don't know. The sun disappeared somewhere. The clouds returned. But after lunch, it got bright again. Neither Sandria nor Ernie were at school. Is that like my friend? Those two people? Because they're the only one that I mentioned. And I don't even say they are my friend. What the fuck is wrong with my character? He's a loner type shit. I guess that's how people work in 1928. They got no friends or something. But in geography, we got a not too difficult topic. They called me. I answered fairly well and got a good grade. Feels good, doesn't it? At that moment, I started wondering whether should I start studying properly. Well, I think you can do studying properly and viewing the outside of your window, right? I guess not. Does looking outside the window interrupts your studying? No, right? But studying does interrupt your looking out the window. But you can't always look outside your window forever though, right? Getting good grades only for your own knowledge, that's actually quite nice. It is. I thought about it for a bit. Really did. Then the sun peeked out. No, fuck sun. I look out the window and somehow the thoughts drifted away. What? No, man. You need to learn. You need to study somewhere into the clouds. Well, I guess this place is so beautiful that my guy is always distracted by it. Maybe it's the sun and not the sea. Because the sea is reflecting the sun's light, you know? Maybe, right? Maybe they'll get carried into the middle of the sea. And the ones underwater will catch them, look them over, maybe even talk about them. I wouldn't mind finding out what they even think about down there. How they live, what they do when it's snowing outside, every single day. Are they already tired of the snow? Or not yet? Well, maybe no, maybe no. Because they live in the snow every day. Do they want a bit of sunshine? Just a little, maybe. Maybe they never know what sunshine is. Do they even know it exists? Who knows? Good question. Ask your teacher. Maybe she'll beat your ass because you are thinking about this shit in the class. Okie dokie. What the fuck? It's dark as hell. Of course, I expected that someone would visit Ernie sooner or later, but to come back with that kind of news, oh my god. Ernie dead? They should arrest his guardian or his parents. I don't know if you're ready to hear it. Maybe Ernie escaped to the middle of the sea. Because I think my character said that it was like a popular gossip, folklore. I don't know, man. Am I ready for it? You're ready for it. Don't ask that shit. Am I ready to tell you? What? You need to be ready to tell it to me. Fuck you mean you're not ready? I already worried about Ernest like since day one. I'm a day one, bro. Day zero. What you talking about? Ernest, poor guy. And we used to talk. You and I knew him. He wasn't my best friend, but I knew him fairly well. You couldn't really call him talented or especially smart. But do people like that even exist in a tiny village like ours that used to be just 6 little bamlets by the sea? Hamlets. Okay, I don't know who used a fucking font that has H looking like B, but the B has like a dick out. Like, bro, what is that text? So, it's not hard to guess that Ernest sadly has died. What happened? Come on now. Don't censor why he's dead. I don't get why people don't say why they're dead. You know? It just makes me curious like shit. Is that his grave? Why is there 2 graves? Whoa, the rain is so loud. Today was a very strange day. The weather was odd. And I'm not even going to try describing it to you. I felt strange in a way I couldn't quite explain. We were at the kirk at Ernie's funeral. The kirk was very small, even for our village, so some people had to stand outside, whether it was rain or something else. I never really figured it out, but I suppose it doesn't matter. I saw many familiar faces there. Even Sandria came with her parents. I even had a chance to talk with her a bit, and she turned out to be a really kind person, who, despite barely knowing Ernie, was deeply affected by his death. We talked about him a little. I shared some of the good memories I still had of him. She said that once a teacher asked her to help Ernest after school, since, due to domestic abuse, he often missed class and was falling behind. Is the parents here, like, bro? No. Your kid died because of you. If you're sad, you're a fucking bitch. You're an asshole. Sandria was truly remarkable. A year younger than me. 2 years younger than Ernest. And yet, she had something to teach all of us. The teachers were there. The school principal. All of our classmates, who could barely be split into 2 full classes. Ernest's neighbors. My parents. Sandria's parents. Man, this rain is so loud. Everyone was there. Except Ernest's parents, okay? Thank God they're not here, cause if they're here, they're fake as fuck. The police had taken them away, okay? That's good. That's good. Did the parents did that though? Could be not, right? Maybe he died by himself. A few days passed. It seemed like everything fell into place, like nothing had happened. And Ernest never existed. Cause no one was really close to him, I think. It's a small village, they said. This guy said. And my guy, who he said was close to Ernest, doesn't call him a best friend. Why? Who knows? Guys just want to be melancholic for some reason. For a few days, I couldn't sleep well at night. I kept thinking about his parents. To beat your own child with your own hands. And the teachers too. What did the teachers do? It was no secret where he lived and in what conditions. Couldn't they just give him normal grades? That's right. They know, and they just gonna let him be. What an asshole. I can't do anything about that too. Can my character like ask Ernie to live with him? That's why you need to care and have a friend, you fucking bitch. To save your friend from those evil ass parents. Maybe they just enjoy torturing children. I guess some teacher do. Like, why be a teacher then, right? I guess if you want to be a teacher, you need to enjoy the art of teaching and loud ass fucking children. Okay, not every children is gonna be Einstein or some shit. I don't even know if Einstein is easily teachable or not. Maybe he's a bitch too when he's a child. We don't know, right? I hope we don't know. Fuck. In the end, even I let go of the situation. My window didn't go anywhere, and neither did the sea. Of course, where could it go? Well, technically, the sea is the ship of Theseus. It's always changing. What's this? What the fuck? There's a castle in the distance. Hey, yo, listen at this music. I heard a legend about a great place. In the north, of course. More and more people from the village were coming there. The city grew, and they had to find somewhere for everyone to live. So they chopped down trees and built houses from them. But the number of people grew so large, the city became so big, that there were no more trees left around. No, that's not a rumor. That's not a story. I see it with my own eyes, bruh. Like, shit, man. Fuck. The city was by the sea, by our northern White Sea. It had many stones. The people decided to build homes from them. The more stone they pulled from the sea, the smaller the sea became, until it disappeared completely. How does the fucking sea disappear completely? Where does all the water go? Finally, they ran out of food. What are you gonna do? Because they had cut down the forest, and there were no more animals. They have collected all the stones, and the water disappeared. They hungry and they dehydrated. They gonna die. There were no more fish. All the villagers went back to their towns and villages. The city was left empty forever. Well, it's gonna be great though, isn't it? The city is gonna be like abandoned, and maybe 10 years from now, the city is gonna be like those urban legend videos. Like, I don't know, man. Urban legend, urban exploring. I think it's gonna be fucking cool, you know? People used to live there because of their greed, and now it's just an abandoned shit hole. I wonder, does such a city even exist? And if the water went away, what happened to the country that lived in the middle of the sea? Well, they move away with the water, of course. Come on, what you talking about? At the very bottom, where there's always snow, there's no move too, man. Come on, did you not think? Did they see the sun? Sandria came to school again, and this time we sat together. She even taught me something new for some reason. I started to understand some subjects a bit better. Of course, not arithmetic. I'll never understand that, not even with her help. I told her a little about myself, where I'd been, what I'd seen, where I'd traveled with my father. She wasn't from a poor family either. She had seen almost nothing outside of her home and the hospital in the city of Paranoia, so everything was interesting to her. I promised her that we needed to go to the Miranda Peninsula before the school year ended. It's a small piece of land, not far from the village, semi-circular in shape, surrounded by water on the three sides, with a little hill, a rope swing, and regular swings. Regulars. What the fuck is that text? I don't know what the fuck those things mean. Turns out she had never been on a rope swing. That's sad, isn't it? Can you imagine? No, I cannot, sir. Unfortunately, she rarely sat with me, so we rarely talk. You know you can go to her when you have a break, right? Are you stupid? Well, I guess when he's having a break, he's always sitting in the window, man. I forgot. He's like tranced by this fucking window. After we made our plans to go to the peninsula, she didn't come to school again the next day. I still had my window, the sea, bad weather. Okay. Did she die now? What the fuck? My friends all died. What is happening? Turvey is another one of my classmates, a year younger than me, same age as Sandria. He lived on the same street as Ernie. I don't know how it happened, but his parents also liked to use brute force. However, he was a rather nimble boy. Maybe his parents didn't use enough force, so he usually managed to run away from them, somehow. Only once he didn't manage, and he came to school with a broken arm and a bruise on his cheek. What broken arm? What they doing to him? They want to kill him or something? Just because what? What did he do? I don't think I've read bad grades on him, right? But I only remember that happening once. Sometimes we sat together. He was a nice and cheerful boy who often got bad grades. Oh, okay. Why is the teacher giving them all bad grades? I don't know. Thanks to Sandria, that day I got an average grade in geometry. Well, he got the lowest one. But he didn't care at all. Strange boy. Maybe that's how he copes with the situation, by not caring too much, so he isn't scared or depressed. A sunny day. Strange, isn't it? Why, even stranger, Sandria came to school, and Turvy was with us too. She said that if she felt well today, and tomorrow too, she'd be allowed to take a little walk in the forest. I told Sandria that I hoped she would feel better, and Turvy decided to join us, and we didn't mind. Let everything work out for her. Okay. Am I gonna see the forest? I hope so. I've never been to a forest. Fuck, okay, what happened? Despite the good weather, and the fact that Sandria actually came to school, she still wasn't allowed to go on walks with us. All she was permitted to do was walk from school to home, and back again, which takes no more than 5 minutes. Turvy suggested we skip class right now, and if someone came looking for us, he knew a cave outside the village. In the winter, a bear sometimes slept there, according to him, but now it's spring, so the bear must have gone off wandering somewhere. I said it was a bad idea. Sandria agreed, understanding that it was a bad idea as well. Disagree with me, okay. Good. She's smart. And she and Turvy started teasing me, saying I was, at the very least, not the bravest boy in the village. Don't get bait by that. That's bait. I know that's bait. Rage bait. I wasn't offended. On the contrary, it was nice that Sandria was in such a good mood, because I couldn't imagine what it was like going outside only twice a week, for 5 minutes at a time, and seeing nothing in your whole life but the road from home to school. That's me. What you talking about? I can imagine that, especially for someone as curious as her. It's just so hard. Whoa! So beautiful! Even though it's just a drawing. Still a beautiful drawing though. Everything turned out perfectly for Sandria. Sunny weather, good health, and her parents' permission to take a walk in the forest. We took Turvy with us and went for a walk. She was dressed strangely for a walk in the forest, in a snow-white dress. Maybe because she's never been to the forest, right? I never go to the forest too, man. If I was to go into a forest, man, I'll wear some suit and tie, like, bro. You thought I was working? Nah, I'm just a hobo. But according to her, she had only been in the forest a few times in her life, so she didn't have any suitable clothes. Oh, so she have been to a forest. Me too, man. I've been to a forest too. I'm not weird. Unfortunately, we weren't allowed to walk for long, and someone from Sandria's family staff was always watching us. What the fuck, family staff? Shit. However, that didn't stop us from having a great time. Sandria barely said anything. She just listened to us. That's how I be too sometimes. I don't really talk much with my friends, when they're around anyway. I just hear them listen, and I'm happy with it. Sometimes you don't have to talk with other people. Turvy knows the area better than we do, but even I realized he was clearly making up at least half of it. At the very least, the part about how, just over there behind that tree, he saw a person with a wolf's head, and how once a lynx chased him, and he climbed up a tree, and it followed him. And he climbed higher, and it still followed, but didn't expect that he could jump between the trees. There was also that story about a herd of bison, but I won't even tell you that one, because there are definitely no bison living nearby. That's a fact. Okay, bison farmer over here. For my part, I told more realistic stories, like the time I saved a little raccoon from a neighbor's dog, or how a fox stole my mom's necklace, and we searched the forest with the whole street until I found it. However, I didn't tell how the adults took the necklace back. Sandria is not ready for the real world yet. The weather was nice the whole day, but sadly, we were only allowed to walk until lunchtime. When I got home, after helping my parents that evening, I suddenly felt like reading a book. Any book, really. Just a book. I wonder why. Cause you want that jolly good life, mate. We're back here again, man. How long is this game? I thought it was like kinda short. It's pretty long actually. The weather was still sunny, but very cloudy. There was also a strong wind, which could be heard even through the closed window. Neither Turvey nor Sandria were at school. I sat alone in my seat, looking at the sea. This time, for some reason, I felt discomfort from it. What? Why? Oh, cause maybe now you're missing your friends more than you want to look at the fucking window. Why? And what kind exactly? I don't know. This has never happened to me before. Oh, we're back to day one weather. The next day, the weather got worse. The wind wasn't as strong, but I didn't see any single ray of sunlight all day. Turvey arrived. He had a bump on his head and a bruise under his eye. That day I remembered Ernie, whom I had long forgotten. My body was overwhelmed with emotions. I didn't know how to react, but if I had seen one of their parents, I don't know if I could have held back. However, Turvey didn't react to it at all, except that he was a little more withdrawn than usual and spoke less. That's how the day passed, although I couldn't fall asleep for a very long time. Damn, weather's still bad. The weather didn't improve, but on the contrary, it got worse. It started to rain. I was really tired and could barely stay awake in class. Turvey was making paper airplane nearby. He really enjoyed this activity. Turvey was so joyful, man. What the fuck? He just got beaten in his head. And he was making airplanes? Well, good for him actually. For him to be enjoying his activity. Sometimes people do shit that they don't enjoy. For some reason, I don't know why would they do that. I could barely see the sea through the rain. But something seemed very strange to me. In our northern sea, there's a lot of stone, both large and small. However, there was none on the beach near the school. Then I noticed one, not far from the shore. Due to my condition, I didn't pay much attention to it. I was dreaming of getting home as soon as possible and lying down to sleep. I know that dream. I think about it every day, mate. Even though I'm at home. Sometimes when I'm at my computer, I wish I was in bed. What the fuck is wrong with me, mate? Next day, there was no rain, but the weather still didn't cheer me up. Sandria still wasn't there, even though she was supposed to come at least once a week. Turvey was still playing with his airplanes. Are you in a loop? I was looking out the window during literature class. That stone, it was still in the same place. Or is it just me? Or is it getting closer? Well, I don't see no stone, so I don't know what you're talking about. Why would the stone move though? That can't be. Do I not believe my own eyes? Is something like that even possible? Right now, I feel just as overwhelmed as I did the moment I saw it. And I wasn't imagining it. I'm absolutely sure. Should I tell someone? Can I even do that? At first, I didn't understand what it was. What exactly was happening with the stone. The same one that had suddenly appeared in the sea. But when I squinted, I noticed something seemed to be drawn on its front side. Because of the bad weather and the light mist, I couldn't make out what it was. Plus, there was wind and waves constantly covering the image. After class, Turvey and I went to check what exactly was painted there. And who in the world would climb into the sea right now, in this weather, in freezing water, just to draw something? What is it? What the fuck, mate? Man, that shit is bringing shiver down my asshole. What the hell? Oh, hell. It wasn't a drawing, even though that's what we were expecting. That's the stone you're talking about? Nah, mate. If I see a stone like that, I don't know what I would do. When we got to the shore, we looked again at the stone. I don't know which of us realized it first, but we both suddenly felt deeply uneasy. Because it wasn't a drawing. They were human eyes. It wasn't a stone in the sea. It was someone's head. Someone's head? Soon the teacher arrived, but she couldn't do anything. She was just as scared as we were. Is the head connected to a body? Like, is it just a head? What the? We tried shouting to the man in the sea, asking if he needed help. But he stood there, staring at us, not even blinking. That's what you get from seeing outside the window every day, mate. That guy is seeing you every day. He's locking into you. Nah, you gonna die, bro. Trevi thought to throw him the life buoy we had at school. It landed near the man, but the stranger didn't even glance at it. So the life buoy just floated in the waves for a few minutes until we decided not to pull it back. The man wasn't looking at any of us specifically, just straight ahead. Soon, the whole school had gathered at the beach because the man hadn't returned to class. Because the teacher hadn't returned to class, the principal showed up too, and said he had already called the police. In our village, there wasn't an actual police station, just a small wooden house with 2 officers on duty. By the time they arrived, I noticed something strange about the man in the water. Something familiar, like I'd seen him somewhere before. Well, I don't know where you'd seen him before, because you haven't mentioned a single fucking text about that man. It was our second teacher. What the fuck? Yes, I was sure it was him. Of course, no one believed me, and I didn't realize it right away either. His hairstyle was different, the hair thinner and darker, but the eyes and the look very similar. Just in case, the principal called the second teacher's home. He only had classes in the morning that day, and he answered. Some people doubted it, but I was sure it was our teacher sitting there, staring at us from the sea. But how could he be at home, talking to the principal, and also in the water at the same time? Maybe the one in the home is not the real person, and this thing is the real one, but they kinda like switch place. Like, bro is taking, how the fuck do I explain it? The teacher got abducted by something, and he got caught, and somehow he escaped, and he returned like this. Like, I don't know, man. When the police arrived, they sent all the students away. Soon after, we were allowed to go home, although few wanted to leave. Everyone was too curious about what was going on. Some of us, and of course Turvey, who actually climbed onto the school roof, still tried to watch what was happening. But the officers quickly noticed and made it clear we shouldn't interfere with the investigation. In the end, everyone went home, but not exactly satisfied, but definitely more frightened than before. What the fuck is that stone, mate? Shit, that's not the stone. It's from the previous day too, like why is it not moving? When I came home, I told everything to my parents. They gave me tea, and some kind of very strange tincture, strong and bitter, which, surprisingly, made me feel a bit better. Wait, what if that person is like all of the villagers, but they are somehow suppressed, you know? My parents took me to my room. They stayed downstairs to talk about the situation. After that tincture, I felt really strange. On the one hand, I wanted to sleep. I was relaxed and barely understood anything. Nice lamp though. I would like a lamp like that. On the other hand, I was torn apart by my emotions. By curiosity, by fear, by sorrow, by anxiety, by everything. And I wasn't the only one who felt bad. Everyone was leaving school with faces the color of our northern sea. Even Turvey wasn't himself, stayed silent the whole way. That look. In the darkness, as I was falling asleep, his stare kept flashing before my eyes. Sheesh, mate. That is fucked up. If you... Oh, nah. It would pass. I'd close my eyes again, relax. And there he was again, and again. That person, and again. My teacher's face right there in the water. Before falling asleep, I thought about Sandria, because she probably didn't know about this yet. I wonder if she'll want to see it. Will she be creeped out? Or curious? With these thoughts completely exhausted, I finally fell asleep, although it wasn't even evening yet. Man, thank God I'm a forgetful person. Cause once I got home, I ain't gonna think about that shit ever, man. I was just laying on the floor. Bro, thank you. Thank you, Jesus. Next day, I didn't go to school, nor did I the day after that. We were given a week off. They also said that the school would move to another building, a wooden one, even smaller than the one we were in. The new building was located near the graveyard where we buried Ernie. No one was allowed near the old building. It was guarded. But of course, everyone wanted to see what the students had actually seen in the water. Could it really be that the teacher had drowned? Or was it the teacher's brother? Brother, why did I say like that? Maybe it was a water spirit. Or a sea devil. I heard so many versions that I wanted to see it myself. Passing by, it was hard to make anything out, because everything was blocked off by a hastily built fence, and guards were always on duty, but I still managed to sneak a glimpse out of the corner of my eye at what had changed so much there, and what they were guarding us from. There was something to guard us from. What? What? Oh my lord, what the shicey? When we first saw that head, I could barely see the eyes. Now this person, who looked even more like our teacher, was visible up to the elbows out of the water. They had very strange, dark green skin. Oh, it's dark green? I thought it was like black. Huh. How could you tell that though, from a distance away? This guy must have crazy good eye. The one who looked so much like the teacher kept staring straight ahead, not reacting to the guards or anything else. Next to them, another head had appeared, just like the last time, only the eyes were visible. I didn't have time to figure out who they reminded me of, as the guard rushed over and told me to leave immediately and mind my own business. Wait, this story is like very H.P. Lovecraft, man. I love it. I love it so much. So good, even though it's very fucking slow at the beginning. And it is still slow. Like, I think this is gonna be like 2 hours, mate. I shouldn't have looked at what was going on there. When I got home, I didn't tell my parents anything and didn't eat. I went straight to my room. As soon as the door closed, I started feeling really unwell. Everything inside me was burning so much that it hurt to breathe. I grabbed my chest and sat down on the edge of the bed. I was on the verge of fainting. Warm sweat was dripping from my forehead onto the floor, and everything in front of my eyes was doubling. What did I just see? I was terrified, waiting for night to fall, because I knew full well that this would be the worst night of my life. I wouldn't be able to close my eyes even for a second. The teacher, no, that thing. As soon as darkness fell, it felt like no matter where I look, it would be behind me, absolutely. So I pressed myself against the wall, hugged my pillow, and stared straight into the darkness. I knew he wouldn't appear behind my back. That's why I had to keep my eyes straight ahead. He will definitely come. He will definitely appear. I kept thinking. I was convinced his eyes glowed in the dark, so sometimes I got scared of the stars when they peeked through the clouds. Why would you think about that? Why would you be thinking about that shit? Bro got creative to scare himself. Like, why would you do that? Okay, it's dark time. I don't see no star though, so you're probably safe. I didn't sleep for a long time that night. I kept thinking where I should run when he appears. Or maybe not run. Maybe fight back. But with what? A pillow? Maybe I should go to my parents and sleep with them. Or ask them for that bitter, strong drink. What should I do? What? These thoughts were driving me crazy. The more I thought about it, the worse I felt. I stayed alert, not closing my eyes, jumping at every sound. Someone ran quickly past our house. Frightened, I just jumped out of it and fell right onto the wooden floor. Strange that my parents didn't hear me. Of course, it was probably just a fox or a hare, but at that moment, I was sure it had to be that man from the sea. I ran to the window, but I couldn't see anything at all, except for a few stars, trembling and twitching. I sat on the bed and stayed awake for a while longer, until all my strength left me, and I had no choice but to pass out. No choice but to pass out, huh? Sorry if I'm speaking and sometimes my voice ran out at the end. I don't know why I do that sometimes. When I say some words, my voice just doesn't want to come out. They just got inside. Like, I don't know why. I couldn't wake up for a long time. It was hard for my father to get me out of bed, but he managed to do this. Today, I was supposed to help him. I don't know how quickly he realized that I was completely useless in this state, which he sent me to rest long before lunch. Once again, I didn't eat anything, even though Mom had cooked a lot of delicious food. I couldn't go back to my room after last night. Going outside was scary too. I don't know why. It just was. Mom also soon left for work, and I was left in the house alone. Completely alone. That's my worst nightmare, man. Alone in the house when you're fucking frightened of everything? Nah, I will just be outside, Maybe in the garden. What the fuck's that? I thought that was like a plant, but I think that's for the fire thing. And even though staying in my room wasn't an option, I wandered around the first floor, going through every room there was. Even though I was tired and really wanted to sleep, it was easier to keep walking and think about my own stuff. Because whenever I sat down to rest, even for a minute, those thoughts, those images, all that terrifying stuff would come back and crash over me like a wave. This went on until my eyes landed on the bookshelf. One of the books had a very strange yellow cover. My parents loved reading. They had a whole collection of books. For some reason, I didn't inherit that love at all. I sat down to read. It was a collection of southern family tales, fairy tales, but these weren't tales from the south. They were tales from our southern lands, which meant the northern ones. I explained that weirdly. Let's leave it at that. The language it was written in was very simple. It read quickly. At first, I kept getting distracted. Sometimes it felt like someone was watching me from the window, or like I heard footsteps behind the doors, maybe inside the house itself. You're paranoid and hallucinating. Maybe. I just had to wait it out until the reading process fully pulled me in. Okay, that's good though, isn't it? Ooh, what's this? Oh, it's the stars again. I guess this is the same story as that. The first tale was about the small nation of the Pagarums, who live, or used to live, in the south of Estonia. It wasn't completely clear from the text. They are short in stature, something between humans and gnomes, but all of them have a large trunk, just like an elephant. Oh, ew. They live in the forests of that region, and they drink water from the local lakes using their trunks, again, just like elephants. Their houses are very small and hard to find for humans or other predators, because the Pagarums are skilled at hiding them. So skilled, in fact, that once 3 children got lost and couldn't find their way home. They had to wander through the forest in search of shelter or someone from their kind. The worst enemy of all Pagarums isn't the bear, and not even humans. It's an evil witch who lives in those woods. Why would there be an evil witch? I guess it is a fairy tale. She's very tall and can disguise herself as a tree, and when one of the Pagarums walks by, she snatches them and carries them off to her hut. While I was reading all this, I kept thinking, what do the ones who live underwater in the middle of the North Sea look like? Maybe they have trunks too. I wonder what they need them for. To drink seawater? Actually, that could be possible, because the North Sea is much less salty than any other sea in the world. The second tale, or rather, was more of a short story or a novel. So, the second tale was about strangers from the east. On the eastern border of the village, there was a large hill. There wasn't a single tree or stone on it, only grass grew there. On the day of the summer solstice, at sunset late at night, some unknown people would come there and stand until dawn. No one knew who they were, where they came from, or why they came. Anyone who approached to ask them where they were from, once they got an answer, they would join the strangers and leave with them that night to their village. What a creepy tale. Is this really something kids should be reading? Why does no one think about the consequences? Terrifying. In this way, I read that book all the way until evening. Different tales, stories, fables. And I didn't get bored of it for even a minute. An amazing feeling. I had never done something all day long without getting tired of it. That night too, I couldn't fall asleep for a long time. But not because I was scared. It was because of the book, which I did end up finishing. Well, that's very good for you. You can't sleep because you do something that you love, you like. I hope you are now tired and can't think about those things from the sea and just sleep peacefully. The next day, the weather was nice. I woke up very early, even though I had gone to bed really late. I helped my parents make breakfast and did a bit of work too. I was planning to spend the whole day with them since the weather was good. But then, unexpectedly, Turvey came over. He said he wanted to stop by and check how Sandria was doing and whether she knew what was going on. Sandria. I had completely forgotten about her. So much had happened. I didn't even have a minute to think about her. And we had planned so many things together. Thought about where to go, what to do. My parents let me go, and if they hadn't, Terry already had an escape plan. So we headed to her house, which was not far from the school. Goosebumps ran down my body as we passed that place. I remembered what I had seen behind the fence that day, and told Turvey about it. He felt both creeped out and intrigued to see it for himself, but I convinced him to go alone, because I had absolutely no desire to go back there and see all of that again. I'd rather wait for some kind of explanation. Damn, man. I'm tired now. Because this game is so fucking long. But I like it, man. It's like that yellow cover book. Oh shit. Sandria was getting worse. Is this her house? It looks so cute and lovely, you know? I would like to have a house like that. They barely let us into their house. She was lying in her bed and looked like one of those medieval princesses from the southern family fairy tales. The kinds that lock away in a tower with a dragon. According to her, she could barely move and couldn't feel her legs. She could only get around using a wheelchair or a cane. I had no other options. I asked her parents if they could take her to that peninsula so she could at least see something. They promised me they would think about it. I have nothing more to write about that meeting. Not long ago, I was afraid of monsters, of strange creatures from the middle of the sea. Now I had completely forgotten about them. There was a pleasant taste in my mouth. It's hard to describe the feeling you get when you see a person who can't move. What is it? Pity? Grief? Turvey wasn't himself either. He didn't even suggest looking at the sea again. We silently went our separate ways, each to our own home. No goodbye or nothing. Maybe they say goodbye but didn't speak to each other, you know? We're back here again? What are we doing? This game makes me fucking sleepy, mate. Not because it's boring. It's just the drawings are so fucking... I don't know what about the drawing. It makes me feel comfy, you know? The holidays were over. The good weather was over too. The school had moved to a new building. It was right in front of the kirk. I don't know how I got so lucky. But once again, I was sitting by the window. Shit. But now, instead of the sea, I saw trees and grays. That's pretty melancholic, isn't it? I think I would like to have that too. And honestly, anything will do, as long as I can see far off into the distance. Everyone at school was whispering about what had happened in the sea. Nobody had forgotten it yet. Turvey was gathering people to sneak into the old school building at night and see everything for themselves. Everything was still there, just as it had been. Just as it had been, huh? They not moving anything? Did they just bought some new shit? Like what? Damn, rich school over here. For the second day in a row, I was getting good grades at school. Also, for the second day in a row, the weather was bad. During the holidays and all my free time, I had been studying, reading a lot. It helped me. The holidays had long since ended, but Sandria still hadn't come back to school. I should visit her, ask how she's doing. Besides, I have so much to tell her, and so much to ask, because no one else shares my new literary and scientific interests. Oh, that's so fucking real. That's so fucking real, mate. After the second lesson, Turvey came. I think his name is Turvey, but I don't know how to say that shit. So I'm gonna keep continuing and say Turvey. Or, to be precisely, ran in. He said I had to see something immediately. For some reason, I decided to believe him, and I wasn't in the mood to stay in school any longer. So we ditched and left. And there, a shark had washed up on shore. It had smashed against the sharp rocks and was still lying there. A shark? What? Are there even sharks in our sea? I wondered about that until we reached the place. What does the shark look like? Oh my, we're gonna see the corpse of a shark? I've never seen a shark too, you know. So what the shit? Why do I need the close up of his eye? Wait, it got a weird pattern on it. It really was a shark. A huge one. The size of 5 adult seals. Okay, American numbers be like. Its eyes were open, and massive teeth stuck out of its mouth. I don't know what impressed me the most. The dead sharks with huge teeth? Those people in the water? Or the motionless person who longs so deeply to see the world? That's it? Okay. Damn, bro, the seals looking like ass. Hell no, get me back to the fucking forest, please. Together with Turvey, we decided to walk along the shore to report it to the police. Halfway there, we changed our minds, because the police might ask why we weren't in school. We needed to kill a few more hours. So we sat on the beach, tossed stones, told each other stories, talked about life. That's how it was until, suddenly, a strong wind picked up. The waves grew so big that one almost swept us into the sea. A storm was beginning. It became dangerous to stay on the shore, so we decided to head back into the village, or at least take cover in the forest. Why would you take cover in the forest when there's a storm outside? Unless there's a gnome house in the forest, like... What? Stupid, mate. Just before we left the beach, I noticed something in the water. Oh, no, no, no. Don't make a zoom in for that shit, please. Not something. Someone. There was someone there, standing not far from the shore. A fisherman? Or someone in need of help? What could a person possibly be doing in such weather, half naked, in the water? No, it couldn't be. No. Don't make a zoom in all the way. Oh, fucking shit! I don't know why this shit is spooking me out, mate. Oh, fuck. The boy was about our age, only with very dark skin and almost no hair. From the water, only his shoulders were visible. That same cold stare, completely void of any emotion. Those same eyes that look straight ahead and notice nothing around them. Turvey noticed it first. I didn't want to admit it, although I had the same thoughts. Despite the waves and bad weather, you could make out his face, and it looked terrifyingly like Ernie's. What the fuck? What does it mean though? Why does the teacher, a girl, which I think it's a girl, this besides the teacher, right? Because the hair was kinda long, not too long, you know. And this one is Ernie. Why? What is the meaning of this? Why are they here? Are they here just because? What? How? What the hell? Nah, bruh, I wouldn't say that shit. None like that. I would just be forgetting about that shit quickly. A dark green, human-like figure in the sea, with eyes just like Ernest's. Once again, I couldn't fall asleep for a long time. I was afraid it would come to me in my sleep. As soon as I closed my eyes, that image appeared before me. It felt like I heard his voice several times during the night. Or was it the singing of night birds? How did he end up there? Could it be that his parents threw him into the sea and told everyone they had killed him? Oh, what? But why is the teacher there though? Maybe I was mistaken. Maybe it wasn't him, but Turvey saw him too. Could we both be wrong? Shared hallucinations. That must be a thing, right? I think it is a thing. Strange though, why would you both have hallucination? I guess by your circumstances, you could be having a hallucination. Everyone is in distress because of the thing in the ocean. This night, I didn't fall asleep at all, nor the next one. On the third day, without sleep, having refused to eat, I could barely move my legs to get to school. Suddenly, what the fuck? Oh no! What is this whispering? From under the fence of someone's house, a head appeared. Y'all hear this? Nah, no, I don't want to look at the next screen. Oh, a dog, I thought. You thought? It's not a dog, mate. If you thought it's a dog, it's not a dog. But do dogs know how to speak human language? What the fuck is that, man? Come on, don't, please. I'm curious and also not curious. On the way back, at that same spot, I heard the familiar voice again. There was no one nearby. The house was locked. The windows were shut. Then, who was speaking? Oh no, no! Oh no! No! I'm sorry if I'm screaming, because I'm really spooked by this shit. What? Okay, thank you. Thank you, game. I love you. At school, we were warned not to go to the beach. For now, the area would be guarded. It was also forbidden to walk in the forest near the sea. The youngest student in our class was Lonik, a shy, quiet boy. He didn't talk to anyone, always sat alone, and had no friends. Like you. Actually, now you had Turvy and Sandria, which is good, you know. But everyone still noticed that he had stopped coming to school. Rumors said that his parents had moved to Paranoia. Interestingly, that family lived right by the sea, not far from the Mirandal Peninsula. Well, I guess now's not the best time to invite Sandria there again, who, by the way, still hadn't returned to school. Oh shit, what the fuck happened to her? We visited her, right? And she's sick. But why does she doesn't want to go to school? Maybe her parents are worried about the men in the sea. Over time, I began to notice that there were fewer and fewer people in the village. The houses near the sea started to become empty. But many people from the city appeared, especially police officers. They could be seen more and more often near the old school, though sometimes they also walked through the village. Well, I think this village could make some money, you know. Police officer came, and they probably super fucking bored just watching the sea. You could sell some like food, snacks, you know, in the village. While everyone's faces showed only negative emotions, Turvy unexpectedly became interested in origami. Good for him. He was really good at it. I knew that since he made some airplane, right? At first, he made planes and boats, but today he managed to make a fox. That's very good. And honestly, I probably couldn't have done something like that myself. Well, thank God Turvy is kinda what? Turvy is like super jolly for some reason. Shy, but we never really talked to him that much. And still, who is speaking? Every time I pass through that place, I hear someone's voice. There's no one nearby. I tried calling out. Once, I even stepped onto the house property, but there was no one there. I looked through the window, but it was covered with curtains. After that time, I started avoiding that house and that street. My thoughts kept returning to it. One day after school, I stayed behind for a while. I hid in the bush, not far from the house, and started watching. Why would you do this, man? If I hear a voice when there's nobody there, I don't know. It could be someone stuck under something hidden, right? But it could also be some bullshit that I don't want to remember. About every 10 minutes, someone passed by it once, even a police officer, but no one stopped. Everyone just kept going about their business. Even their facial expressions didn't change. Am I really the only one who hears it? Maybe because you have seen the things in the sea, the people in the sea, and maybe that does something to your brain. Sandria died? What the heck? Oh my god, it's the sickness, isn't it? Well, at least you visited her once, you know? Oh shit. I guess I should write something about it. Express my emotions, my condolences. Imagine what the parents feel though. Their child was smart, but she was sick. And she's a caring girl, empathetic. Like, I don't know what to call it. Oh my lord, shit, that's sad. It was unexpected, even though we all knew about her condition. It all happened in an instant. But people have started disappearing from our village so often that I accepted this fact as if she had simply moved away, like everyone else. She isn't though. Somewhere to Parnu or to the capital. And someday, if we really wanted, we might see her again, right? I guess that is kinda right. Yes. You might see her in heaven. Who knows? I don't know. I just hope so. Sandria died. And now the village has one person less. Just like in our class. 3 people have already left the school this past week. There weren't many of us to begin with. It all started with 5 farms that were located nearby. 2 in the fields, 1 in the forest, and 2 by the sea. Then a kirk was built, and 3 new buildings appeared around it. One of them is where we study now. One day, a Swedish ship arrived, and they decided to settle here. Everything reminded them of home. The northern White Sea, the forest, the same kind of climate. Only there was more land, a large field to work on. They built a few more houses. Later, investors from near Tartu took an interest in the place, moved here, and built a small factory. The factory needed workers. More houses appeared. Oh no, it's the Industrial Revolution or some shit. You don't want that, you don't want that, people, come on, oh hell nah. There was a lot of fish in our waters, which attracted sailors from Parnu. Besides, it was cheaper to live here. A school had to be built. They chose a place by the sea. I spent 8 years of my life there. The last thing that was built in the village was a library and a railway. Unfortunately, there's no station yet. Only in the plans. But when will that happen? Why are you talking about the advancement of your village? It's weird. I slept very poorly and ate very little. I don't even remember what the weather was like these past few days. Everything around me felt very strange and somehow foreign. In rare moments, I remembered those times back in the old school. I used to sit by the window, looking at the sea, listening to her song, the waves. But now, the images of the sea is nothing more than a big gray stain to me. How quickly everything changes. Shit, that's real. Ooh. So many birds. Never seen that many. Shit. This morning I skipped breakfast again and went to school. I had very little strength. I could barely move my legs. Nevertheless, I once again decided not to take the street where I heard that strange voice. Another street ran alongside the forest. While I was walking, I looked up at the sky. Today, there were an unusual amount of birds. They flew, quarreling with each other. I wonder how they see us. From up there? Maybe they understand more than we do, because they can see more at once. The forest, the village, the field, the sea, and all of us where we are. Though, what do they care about us? Just like we don't care about them. But maybe it would be nice to rise to their level, to look at all of us from their point of view, at our cities, the village, nature. Better yet, to look straight from space. From that distance, everything happening here doesn't matter. They don't care about the economic crisis, about the village becoming deserted, about Sandria's death. Eric's. Eric? I thought his name was Arif. Whatever, I don't remember. About me. Huh. What the fuck is that shit, mate? A dog. It ran out right in front of me. Where did it come from? Its eyes were red. They were actually glowing. It barked at me like I was the greatest danger in its life. It started lunging at me and almost bit my hand. What the hell? I started running. Strength appeared from who knows where. I turned into the forest. The trees stood close to one another, but I, like a fish in the sea, weaved between them and fled from the rabid dog. It had stopped chasing me long ago, but I couldn't stop anymore. Farther and farther into the forest, farther and farther from the village. Every time I wanted to stop, thoughts from the recent past came flooding in. My strength is running out. Why the fuck would there be a dog? Ernest's dead. See, Ernest, who the hell is Eric? Who the hell is Eric? I keep running. My strength is running out. Ernest's funeral. Sandria. Turvy. Turvy ain't dead, yo. Come on, don't put him in one category. I keep running. My strength is running out. The people from the sea. The dead shark. I keep running. My strength is running out. Sandria's dead. My strength is running out. Sandria's dead. Sandria's dead. Sandria's dead. Dead. Hello. The forest doesn't look as good as before. I came to my senses. My head and shoulder were aching. I tried to stand and realized I couldn't feel my left leg at all, as if it didn't exist and never had. Leaning against a tree, I managed to get up. Where am I? A forest? A very distant forest. I had never been here before. I couldn't even remember where I had run from or where I was supposed to go. I started feeling sick. Really sick. I don't even know what to call that state. Most likely, it was panic. My vision blurred. My body wouldn't obey me. My chest was burning. I couldn't take a breath. Everything was shaking. Everything kept shaking. Somehow, I managed to regain control over my body, except for the leg. It was still terrifying. Goosebumps all over, cold sweat dripping. I walked in the direction that seemed most right. Having no better idea, I began to call for help. But instead of people, some wild animal dashed past me. With the last of my strength, I started to run, wherever my eyes were pointing. But this time, I didn't have the endurance. I tripped and fell hard and lay there for some time. I looked around, still calling for help, but there was no one. Only the crows crying somewhere above. With tears in my eyes, I forced myself back onto my feet. There was a big stick nearby, and I used it to keep walking. The tears wouldn't stop. I walked slowly, not knowing where to. I was scared, sad, so deeply sad. Where is everyone? Where's my home? Fucking dog. Fucking dog. Shit. Police officers. What the hell are they doing in our village when they can't even protect the residents from wild dogs? Useless bastards. I walked forward for a very long time, and nothing suggested there were people nearby. Hill after hill, tree after tree, bush after bush. The forest had no end. Maybe I should head toward the sea, but where is it? The sea. I should hear it, right? Its sound. I must be close to it, right? The forest is next to it, just like it is to the village. So where is it supposed to be? There? Or... no. It's definitely that way. To the west. Or is that the west? How do you tell where west is in the forest? By looking at the sun, mate. And blind your eye. I don't know. To hell with it. I'll go that way. That has to be the west. Swedes live in the west. How the hell does that help me? Sweets, sweets, sweets. I knew a few of them. By the way, Turvey looks a lot like a sweet. How did I even figure that out? What are you doing? Are you tripping balls? Are you that tired? What the fuck is happening? Maybe those guys who live down at the bottom of the sea could at least send me a snow cloud. Share some snow. Show me where to go. Maybe I'll meet some pagarums. They live in the forest, right? All that reading wasn't for nothing. Books really do save lives. Well, I don't know about the sweets or the sea, but I finally found a path. I started crying again. Can you believe it? Like a child. But I was already exhausted by then. Walking with a stick and no feeling in one leg was incredibly hard. I picked a direction on the path at random. What difference did it make? It'll lead me somewhere anyway. Shit, this is bad though. If I got lost in the forest. Oh fucking man, we still in the forest? These crows. Why are they so loud today? Wait, that's it. When I ran into the forest, they were coming right above that street. I need to go where I hear their voices. That's where I'll find the town. The crows are getting louder, but the village is still nowhere in sight. The path ends. And what the hell is that smell? Oh shit, I'm gonna see something, guys. We're gonna see something. Some duck. Half eaten like some shit. What the fuck? There's a hill. Oh hell nah! But there's 3 on it, so it's not the east people or some shit. Ravine. A large ravine. With my leg like this, I can't go around it easily. I had to take a longer detour, which wasn't easy either. It was deep and wide. At one spot, there was a fallen tree lying across it, but in my condition, I didn't dare walk over it. A little further, something darted under my feet. I lost my balance, fell, tumbling right into the ravine. Is this how you gonna die? No, mate. I was too exhausted to even be angry anymore. For the first time, I actually felt hungry. So hungry. I was ready to chase that badger that knocked me down. I walked forward for a long time, trying to find a way out without climbing uphill with my leg. And the stench kept getting worse. Maybe what the fuck? Your leg is rotting, mate. What if it is? Oh my lord. Sad condition that you're in. What? What is that? It looks like seaweed. Here, in the forest, they're so strangely dark. I've never even seen ones like that on the shore. They stink. I could smell them even from the ravine. Still, how did they get here? Maybe it means the sea is close, or some fisherman lives nearby. Either way, I feel like I'm going the right way, even though I lost the trail again. What the fuck? I'm still in the ravine? What am I doing? And there's more of that seaweed, here and there, as if the wind scattered it through the forest. I walk alongside it as if it were a path. Seemed like a good enough landmark, even if it smelled awful. But where I was going, the smell was way worse than this. Still, it didn't matter. I'd cling to any chance to get out of this forest. Whoa, what's that? A hill? Or something, I don't know what that is. Hole? A large, white hole. Dug into the ground, in the middle of the forest, on a small clearing. The seaweed brought me here, and the stench coming from it was the worst of all. I can't even describe the feeling to you. But What is a hole doing in the forest? Who dug it here? And why? Could it be just a dumping site? But I don't see any garbage. Maybe it's a dumping ground for the seaweed? I have no idea. I need to look and see what's down there. Or maybe I should wait. Maybe someone's harvesting the seaweed from the sea and bringing it here? Interesting. But how long would I have to sit here? I approached the hole. The stench was so strong that it brought tears to my eyes. Again. Still, I managed to get close enough to the edge and look down into it. What is it? What is it? Oh no. We gonna see some bullshit. Hello, my lord. What the fuck is this shit? Why are you showing me this? You remembering that fairy tale somewhere? The other day, I read another story from that book. It was about three brothers. Their father was a strange man, but kind, talkative, sincere, and very handsome. Which one is the father? And their mother was a lion in a jar. Wait, I think I'm the father. A lake spirit who lives underwater. They fell in love back when the father was still young. In time, children appeared. They came out of the lake and went to live with him. Despite the father's beauty, they were still very different from people. When it came time to go to school, the villagers rejected them. They started throwing things, swearing, whispering behind their backs. It couldn't last forever. The father sent them back to their mother, into the lake, under the water. But even there, they didn't belong. The lake spirits were too different, and from people, and from the brothers. Thus, there was no place for the brothers in this world. They left the lake, left their village, and set off to wander the world in search of others like them, or at least a place where they could be accepted. They wandered far and wide to the south, the north, to the mountains, to the desert. The most handsome one, who looked most like the father, returned to the village. He didn't live long. The locals beat him to death and stuck his head on a stake. The one who most resembled the mother returned to her in the lake, but he didn't survive there either. The spirits killed him and fed him to the frogs. Only one brother remained, and he kept wandering. He wandered for a long time, saw many things, even spoke to a few people. Finding nothing, he made a decision. Having only memories of the village and the lake from his childhood, he dug out a huge lake, and on an island in the middle, built himself a home. With human blood and lake beast blood in him, he walked between cities and lakes, returning with children from both places. In time, there were more and more of them, and so they dug the lake wider. More and more islands appeared. Each one was home to his descendants. Some looked more human, others like a phantom. And so was born a great lake country, inhabited by half humans, half demons. And they named this country. What the fuck? Jeez, mate. Jesus. In the pit lay the body of a girl. Her arms and legs were twisted into strange, unnatural shapes. Her skin had a dark green hue, just like those creatures in the sea. Her eyes were open, vivid, and through them I recognized the body. Oh my, it's Sandria. It's Sandria, isn't it? There was no doubt. Not the strange color of her skin, nor the shape of her limbs. Nothing could confuse me. I know exactly who I was looking at, and that was terrifying. Even now, I don't want to remember it, or even write her name. Sandria. All the crows went silent at my scream. The wind began to howl. I fell to the ground and started crawling backward, away from the pit. When it became too awkward to move like that, I stood up and tried to run, but my leg reminded me it was still injured. I kept falling, struggling to stand. My head was chaos. My soul was chaos. This was the most emotional moment of my entire life. What did I just see? Who did I just see? Sandria? What the hell, Sandria? How could she be there? Where did she come from? She was dead. She was dead. It couldn't have been my imagination. It couldn't have been my imagination. I could not have imagined that. Oh shit. How? What are they? Oh my god, my throat starts to hurt from reading all of that shit. Is there like a throat exercise? Like, pause on that shit, man. What the fuck? Throat exercise. I was already far from that pit. A lizard darted past my eyes. There was a stone under my hand. Oh, you're gonna eat that shit, huh? Grabbing it, I struck the lizard and hit it on the first try. Despite that, I kept hitting it. Again and again. Again and again. Nothing remained of it but blood and scraps of skin. I kept beating until a dent formed in the ground. My hand hurt. I couldn't hold the stone anymore. Hysteria washed over me. Clutching my head, I rolled across the ground, screaming uncontrollably. No crows, no birds of any kind sang in the air anymore. Only my screams could be heard. Eventually, my strength ran out. I lay on the grass, breathing deeply. Physically, I couldn't move or scream anymore. But inside, I was being torn apart. A few meters away, I noticed a stick. My strength returned. I crawled to it and, leaning on it, managed to stand. My heart was still pounding, as if it was about to leap out of my chest. I had to get out of the forest. That thought came to me. I couldn't think of anything else. With the help of the stick, I walked away from that pit as fast as I could. Why would she go to that hole again, though? What the fuck? I'm so sleepy for some reason. Sandria. I can't believe it. I can't believe my eyes. How? How did this happen? It was definitely her. I couldn't have mistaken it for anyone else. Who brought her here? Or did she come on her own? And why does she look so much like those creatures? Could it be that they can walk on land? I feel sick. Something's really wrong with me. So that means all of them I saw, and there were at least 3, could be wandering around the village right now. Do we need the police to catch them and drive them away? Maybe she made it to the pit and fell in because that was her limit. They can't stay on land forever. Do they only have a limited time? What is even going on? Shit, this is so long, man. I'm so hungry right now. That's him! Someone said behind me. I turned around. 2 men stood a few meters away from me. Thank you! My ears were ringing, so maybe I didn't notice them sneaking up on me. The feeling of joy quickly turned into caution. At first, I wanted to ask them to help me to get out, but they looked very hostile, and they smelled terrible. Just like near that pit. They were smeared with those dark algae that were scattered through the forest. All my instincts were on high alert. Without thinking much, I realized what was going on. Don't come any closer. I raised a big stick in front of me. They began to approach. Stay the hell away from me. Don't come any closer. That didn't stop them. They kept walking toward me, slowly and confidently. My hands started shaking. It was hard to stand with only one working leg. I was speechless. When they got so close, they began to surround me. Is this the end? One of them suddenly lunged at me. The only thing I could do was hit his arm with all my strength. He jumped back and grabbed the painful spot. Meanwhile, the second one attacked me from the other side and knocked me to the ground. We started to struggle. He was clearly stronger than me, and I was almost at my limit. If it hadn't been for that stone he hit his head on, he definitely would have strangled me. The other one started to recover and pick up a stick. I started crawling away. but he was faster. He caught up to me and struck me hard in the leg that had already failed. At that moment, I managed to roll over and started fighting back with my good leg, but it was pointless. He dodged my kicks and struck my shoulder hard. That hit me in the chest. It hurt. I curled up and started covering my head with my arms to block the blows. He hit me on the back, on the ribs. It was very, very painful. Very. Tears filled my eyes with each blow. Something sticky and very cold began to move near my hand. Reflexively, I tossed it at him. The snake landed right in his boot. While he tried to pull it out, he lost his balance and fell. I seized the moment. There was a stone within reach. Oh shit, why were they attacking? Oh fuck! Why were they attacking me? They didn't say anything too. Damn. Raining blood over here, like what happened? What? What have I done? Rain. Heavy rain. Heavy rain? But what have I done? I was sitting under a tree, hugging my knees. Not far from me lay a body. Next to it, another one. It didn't hit me right away. He just hit his head on the rocks. This man might still be alive. He could get up at any moment. And what would I do then? It was pure luck that they didn't beat me to death. He could wake up any minute now, and I won't be able to do anything. I still can't feel my leg. My whole body hurts. What was that? Did he move? Or did I imagine it? Seems like for now, he's still lying there. I sat under that tree for a long time. The rain kept getting heavier. I couldn't take my eyes off that man. Maybe I should hide somewhere. In those bushes, for example. There's enough space there, and I can crawl to them. Run? Definitely not an option. I was hungry, beaten, couldn't feel my leg. Wherever I tried to go, he'd wake up much sooner. I know what I have to do. I already did it once, and I can do it again. But can I? Do I have to? Maybe there's another way? No. I know for sure. There's only one option. I don't want him to attack me. Thoughts like that turned my inside upside down. I couldn't breathe for a few minutes. My whole body shook. I wanted to vomit, but there was nothing left. Why am I laughing at that? Fuck me, mate. I started coughing violently and collapsed to the ground. Tears filled my eyes again. At the end of this agony, I realized there simply was no other way. Wiping my eyes, I crawled to the nearest body. There were stones near it, with almost no blood left on them due to the rain. Taking one, I began crawling to the second body, and I had no doubts. Now, looking back, I'm amazed at how cold-bloodedly I made that decision. I know exactly what I was doing, and why I was doing it. A few seconds later, I was by the second man. He was still breathing. Sitting down, I raised the stone high. It seemed like he opened his left eye. Do you think I spared him? Do you think such thoughts remain in me? For the first second, I did hesitate. With Sandria, thoughts of her, and of that body that looked so much like her. They defiled her. How can something like that be forgiven? Shit. What happened though? What the fuck? Okay, I'm so fucking hungry right. Oh shit. I'm so fucking hungry right now. I'm gonna take a hungry break, eat shit for a minute or two, and hopefully I don't forget none of the fucking story. A strike, another strike, and another strike. I struck him far more times than the first man. Lightning flashed somewhere. Thunder rumbled. and I was still hitting his face with a sharp stone, even when there was nowhere left to hit. A strike, another strike, and another. All this went on until I heard footsteps nearby. They weren't in my head. Turning my head in that direction, I saw a person. A man, about 60 years old. He had a rifle slung over his back, and he held a dead hare in his hand. The rain kept falling. Don't tell me I'm just dead, but just like that. I don't know. I don't know what to write. Where to begin, though this is already almost the end. To tell what happened to me, or to the village, I'll probably start with myself, because there's not much to tell. This story is very like Junji Ito's story, you know, like Uzumaki. This reminds me of Uzumaki a little, because that's the only thing that I have read about Lovecraftian. I think Uzumaki is Lovecraftian. I'm not sure, probably not, but this is very reminding me of it. That man wouldn't listen to me. He knocked me out with the butt of his rifle. Went to the policeman in the village himself. That day, they found 3 corpses in the forest. Next to one of them lay me, covered in blood, holding the murder weapon. I'm dead! To keep me out of prison, they sent me to a psychiatric hospital. What? I'm not dead. What? I thought it said that I was a corpse too. They found 3 corpses in the forest. Hello? Am I not dead yet? Am I not a corpse yet? What the fuck? Okay. To keep me out of prison, they sent me to a psychiatric hospital. I stayed there for about 9 months. Is it even worth telling you this? I would have stayed there even longer if not for my father's effort. He used all his strength and connections to get me out. At the same time, the police were still working on the case. They evacuated all the villagers living near the sea, within 2 streets distance. The village emptied out completely. More and more bodies started appearing in the sea. Even foreign journalists came to witness it. Maybe I wouldn't be talking about this or remembering it now if the same thing hadn't happened again. Despite the guards, women's bodies started disappearing from the sea. Oh hell no! Behind the village, in the forest, there was a small hangar. That's where they found them all, and the people involved in the kidnappings. Do I need to tell you what sane men were doing to those bodies? Why would they do? I was acquitted, but how do I say that? Acquitted, but at what cost? In Paranoia and its surrounding, almost everyone knew me and my family. It was in all the newspapers, even some international ones. During this time, my father lost absolutely everything he had. With the last of our money, we moved to Sweden, where he died a year later. When I turned 19, my mother also passed away. She had lost her hearing after my father's death. I was left completely alone. No family, no friends, in a foreign country, and a cripple. I still can't properly move my left leg, and I walk with a cane. What the fuck is this game about, man? It is very fucking like Uzumaki, man. In that fucking comic book, you don't got to see what the fuck is happening in the ending. In the ending, the characters just like became Uzumaki, like, oh, what the fuck? I don't know what to feel about that book, you know. Is it a good ending? Is it not? Anyway, by the end of the war, I moved to the United States. Why? Many people moved to the US back then, but I didn't do it for a better life. I was running from Europe, from Europeans, from the war, from our Baltic Sea, so I'd never have to see it again. I settled in Utah, in the center of the country, 20,000 kilometers from my native village. Over time, closer to the age of 50, I began to regret it, to miss Parnu, Arumir, even the Baltic Sea. Those creatures from the underwater country where it always snows. Do you miss me? Do you even know I exist? Do you know there's probably only one person in the world who knows about you and thinks of you almost every day? And now, I'm already 54 years old. I have no family. There's a buddy from my old job, but we see each other once every 2 weeks. I've had relationships in my life, but who would date a cripple with such deep psychological scars? I think I know some people. Near the end of my life, I began remembering one moment I had almost forgotten. The trial, and everything that happened afterward, I erased from my life. A black stain remains there, forever. The only thing I recalled was the day they took me from Arumer to Parno, the last time I saw my hometown. Fortunately, in shackles. From the small window of the prison wagon, I saw my friend, Turvey, my only living friend. I couldn't see his face well, but it was definitely him. When the wagon started moving, Turvey ran after it. He ran almost all the way to the edge of the village until the police stopped him. He stayed there all alone, without me, Sandria, or Ernie, alone on the shore of the White Sea, in the village of Arumir. Is he alive? What happened to him? From the newspapers, I learned that the village no longer exists, destroyed in bombings during the Second World War. But Turvey, my only best friend, Turvey, he must have had some relatives left, children, grandchildren. They must be somewhere behind that iron Soviet wall. Turvey, friend, find me. Find me, Turvey. Please. I can't anymore. I can't. The end. What the fuck is this? This is the same like Uzumaki, man. What the fuck? It's a good story though, even though it's very fucking long. Oh, it's not ending yet? So much to say and so little time to do it. Firstly, thank you so much for reading my novel. Oh, I'm reading a novel. I thought I was playing a game. I hope at least... What? What's that? At least... It is... Huh? At least 15 could last this line. Huh? I don't understand that shit. Really, guys, you are the best. It is my first experience ever in making the game, so do not be cruel, please. Well, it's very good. My complaint would be it's very long, but if it's, I don't know what to say. You know, it's okay if it's long. Maybe if it was shorter, maybe it'll affect how the story is being written. Maybe that's why it's long. It's okay if it's like that. Even if one person enjoyed the story and liked it, I would be the happiest person on earth. Well, congratulations, because I like it and I enjoy it. And I don't know, it's just like reading a book, and an intriguing book, you know. When I first read Uzumaki, that shit was like so interesting to me I couldn't stop reading it until the end. This is kinda like that. And fuck, man, I just don't know what to say about the ending because I don't know what the fuck happened. If you have any comments, I am really glad to hear them all. I don't think I have any more comments. It would be really good. I need to understand the feedback and my weak sides to develop them in the future. Thank you so much and see you all. Thank you too, because you made this fucking novel. New stories are coming, and that is it. Well, that is... I don't even remember the name of the game. Underdrown. Don't know what the fuck does that mean. Still don't know what those creatures from the sea are supposed to mean. Cause like I told you, maybe it is supposed to be just like Uzumaki, where nothing is supposed to be explainable, you know. Well, that's me playing Underdrown. Nice story. I find the story really enjoyable and relaxing somehow. I don't know why, but I guess it's the drawings really help too. I don't know why they looking kind of weird like that though. That's just me. Okay, that's me. Thank you and goodbye.